Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next comment or question comes from David Mendez, aka David. Response to video 2, how to restore the Roland D-70 using SysX. The factory restore, a video I did in January 2021. David writes, nice video, but what if the keyboard doesn't boot up as mine has no RAM card exit message? I don't have a reset card, thanks in advance. Now, I have to clarify. When you say it doesn't boot, do you mean you get no message on the screen, or does it say Roland D-70? Questions. Does it have power? Do you see other IEDs? That should be LEDs, not IEDs. We're not in the Middle East. Does it have any LEDs above the buttons lighting up? If no, then start looking at the power circuit. So it looks like you've got a power problem if you've got no LEDs. If the LEDs lit up, then you have a screen issue, and because you've wiped the memory, you have no sounds. This is really a diagnostic exercise to find out what has failed, which probably will involve you opening the instrument up, which a lot of these things do. And if you're not comfortable with that, then honestly, this is where you need to find a good Roland service tech, or a good service tech in general, who can open it up forward and tell you what's going on. If you've got a power problem, it's probably something to do with either the transformer's gone bang, or capacitors and voltage regulators are giving up the ghost. I mean, we've got to remember these things are now getting on for 30 years old. Next comment or question comes from Tim Rickson, and this is in response to the Ensoniq SQ-2 in the sun, a video I did in June 2021. I haven't really done much with the SQ-2 since. And he writes, I have one of these but not used it for years. It's 30 years old, but the onboard battery says it needs replacing when I plug it into the mains. Is this an expensive job? In its current state, does the keyboard have any value? I'm in the UK, thanks. Well, first thing is, the battery is a fairly easy job if you've got relatively simple soldering skills. Because the battery is actually soldered to the board on this one. You enter the synth, you turn it over, you remove the back. You will see the battery on the main board, but you will need to remove the board to solder it and solder in the new CR2032 battery. And then the factory sound should then reload once the new battery is in place, so you don't have to worry about that. They're all contained on the internal ROM. For a keyboard produced in 1992, this really didn't stack up. That's kind of my opinion. When you look at the other keyboards that were being produced in 1992 by the other manufacturers, the SQ-2 was an upgraded SQ-1, SQ-1 Plus. So kind of the lineage was, it went SQ-1. You then had an upgrade to the SQ-1. Which you could do yourself, or you could send off to a service tech, and they upgraded it to SQ1 Plus. And the SQ2 effectively had all the things from the SQ1 Plus built into it, plus a couple of other bits and bobs. But it wasn't really anything to write home about in terms of, if you looked at the other keyboards that were around at the time. Korg had the T1 or the T series in place. The M1 was still in place. What was the Roland? I can't think what the equivalent Roland was at that point in time, but there was a series of other keyboards that were coming in 1992 that really kind of eclipsed what the SQ-2 was. It is built like it is though built like a tank. It's very heavy for what it is. The key bed isn't that bad, and it uses most Ensoniq stuff was based on this kind of wave synthesis, but that's kind of, I think, where the goodness ends for the SQ-2 compared with the other keyboards, aforementioned keyboards I mentioned. Ensoniq was really sought after for its samplers. They were the really sought after keyboards and modules. So the Mirage, the EPS, the EPS Plus, the TS was the ones after that, the ASR. So I've got to be honest and say, you know, you might be lucky and get £100 on eBay. That's probably more luck than anything else. Or of course, you could donate it to a worthy channel, such as mine. I'm always open to donations. If you've got a keyboard that you don't want and it's broken, and you feel like it's going to cost you too much to repair it, and you're not going to get very much for it. To be honest, keyboards, even when they're broken, aren't worth what people think they're worth. They're worth pretty much naff all. So if you have got a keyboard in that sort of state and you think, well, you know what, I donate it to the Music Tech Guy UK, and I'll have a jolly good go at trying to fix it. But it will obviously make good content for the video, and your name will get called out on the video, much the same as this keyboard here, which is the JX3P. Well, this is the key bit of the JX3P, should I say, which is the keyboard, or one of Gary Robinson's keyboards, who is the Death Beats, a producer of EDM, so I'm going to say EDM, not drum and bass music and general electronica. So, you know, there's an option for you. If you want to get rid of keyboards, get in touch. I think that's probably where I'll leave it.